up somehow.
Yes, my Straight Talk family, you hear that theme song, you know it's time for another edition of Straight Talk, and time for me to say greetings to the entire world, because we are on the World Wide Web and we reach and communicate with you wherever you are on the globe. As long as you are on the World Wide Web, you just get to Straight Talk on YouTube or Facebook. And my Straight Talk family, we come to you from the beautiful island of the Federation. We have a federation, one federation with two beautiful islands and one paradise, St. Kitts and Nevis. So I'm duty bound, I should say, to say good night, St. Kitts and Nevis, and good night to the entire Caribbean region. To my Straight Talk family in the Kittitian and Nevisian diaspora, right across the globe, you know we reach and touch you in Africa. We reach and communicate with you in Europe. We communicate with you as well all over Asia, my Straight Talk family. And certainly we communicate and we touch base with you, a whole lot of you, all over North America. I say that because I want to just to inform you that I'm at liberty to say good afternoon. I'm at liberty to say good morning. And certainly I'm at liberty to say good night. Because one of such greetings will be applicable to the region in which you now find yourselves, my Straight Talk family. And if you are a first timer, let me say welcome to you, and trust and hope that it would not be your last time. And just to inform you as well that Straight Talk is heard every Monday and Thursday night from 8 to 10 in the PM. And what we do, my Straight Talk family, we try to raise the level of national discourse. We try to raise the level of national consciousness. We try to raise the level, as I said, of our discussions, and we do so, and we try to always stay steeped in the truth. We alert our people, of course, to their rights, to their responsibilities, and to their obligations. And for the first timers, Straight Talk is a public service program that facilitates and promotes free, underline free expression of national interests, be they legal, be they environmental, be they technological, social, economic, and or political issues. On Straight Talk, this is a forum where you can express yourselves freely. My name is Ian Patches Liburd, and I thank Almighty God for blessing me with yet another opportunity to join you in conversation on yet another occasion. And I always hasten to add that as your host, I will always remain an untiring advocate of truthfulness. I know at times the truth hurts, but I am always reminded of the words of a favorite hymn of mine by Thomas Jackson and Franz Joseph Haydn. And an excerpt of the words goes something like this: we are called to be God's prophets, speaking for the truth and right, standing firm for godly justice, bringing evil things to light. Let's seek the courage needed our high calling to fulfill, that we all may know the blessing of the doing of God's will. So my Straight Talk family, I can also show you that absolutely nothing is watered down on this program in order to make it more interesting, neither by omission or by exaggeration. Because we are not about sensationalism, my Straight Talk family. We are not about creating excitement, especially at the expense of accuracy. Because we always try to lean on the facts. Yes, it is my bounden duty to present what I call the unvarnished truth, the plain truth, especially when it comes to governance, wherever we are in the world, especially when it comes to transparency, integrity. Wherever you are in the world, I am an advocate for that. Because this program joins us together with people across our federation. We are joined with people in the diaspora all around the world. And some we know, some we have met, others we do not know, and many we will never ever meet. And I mean physically, that is. And some will agree with the positions of truth advanced on Straight Talk, and some will disagree. Let's just agree on that. But we promote diversity. And what will sadden me, my Straight Talk family, is if we ever start to become disagreeable. So let's thank Almighty God, nonetheless, for helping us to understand, oh, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. Let us therefore hope and pray for the day when we all will sing His praise together. May I remind you as well, especially the first timers, that Straight Talk is a participative program. By that I mean we include your calls and your emails. And if you're so minded calling, the numbers are on your screen. The numbers are on your monitors. Those of you who like the cloak of anonymity, you don't want to be heard for obvious reasons. So we give you access via our email platform, and the email address is there as well, Straight Talk Patches, that's one word, at gmail.com. And those who have the Alexa app, they also provide you, or they give you access, I should say, via that platform. All you got to do is say, Alexa, play Massive Vibes Radio. And we always thank our brother Massive for being so gracious in providing access at a nominal cost. And as we say cost, my Straight Talk family, there are some of you who have made donations to support our efforts here on Straight Talk. And for that, I must say a big thank you for all of you who did. I must also reassure you that no matter how small your contribution is, we welcome it. We welcome your contribution because it will help us to continue these important discussions. They come at a cost, I must add. They come at a cost. So we are always grateful for those who support it, in whatever way. It helps to defray our costs and maintain our commitment to, as I said, public service. So others who wish to donate can simply scan the code on your screen to access the payment form. Very, very simple process. If you just scan that code in a few minutes, a minute or two, you'll sort out any support you want to give. So thank you again for your support and for helping us to keep the dialogue alive. And as we move on, my Straight Talk family, I cannot go forward unless I recognize my Straight Talk Junior Brigade. Young Dwayne, Tristan, Shamar, Kevin, Rue, Jamal, Travis, Trevon. Yes, Neymar, my grandson Neymar, and his good friend Saraya. They're always waiting up to hear their names called on the Straight Talk Junior Brigade register. There's some others I've met. I have not called their names because I always seek parental permission to do so. And to my special lady in St. Louis, I haven't heard you for some time. Trust you're well. Saw you on Tech, what's it called? And as usual, always representing well. To Texas and the Queen over there in Texas, and all the queens wherever you are in the world. I know there are many of you who may think that I know your messages. I don't, because there's my plate is full around here, so it's difficult to manage messages on Facebook, manage messages on YouTube. But please, I read them after, and I'm so humbled by the messages you have sent. And yes, my Straight Talk family, you have an opportunity to have your say. We normally start with our observations and review, a time when we highlight the current issues, we do some reflection, we ask a few questions, and after our observations and review, we normally move to a thesis, a short dissertation. And for tonight, I've titled that thesis, Take Their Money and Vote Them Out. I'll tell you about that story and what led me to that caption. So don't you change the platform, don't you change your link. Just spread the word that Straight Talk is live on social media, YouTube, Facebook, and on Alexa. And our first observation, my Straight Talk family, we haven't gone back to this issue for some time now that relates to the Director of Public Prosecution, Adlai Smith. He has not informed the country of the latest disposition of the investigation which he told us he started in relation to the killing of young Dr. Simonette Williams. But for the DPP, you may be listening. I want you to be assured that this issue will just not go away until we hear from you. And we want at least to get some information for the country and the world who has been following this story of the apparent vehicular homicide of this young doctor who spoke out. You were the one, beg your pardon, DPP, who said this to us.
I'm currently reviewing two. As a matter of fact, I was supposed to have meetings with the investigators in two causing death matters, one involving the good doctor who was killed in a traffic accident. They're close to the airport there. I had to, I was supposed to meet with them, I think it was Monday of last week. They were supposed to bring the files. But I had to put that aside because of other pressing matters. But I have started to consider one.
Let me stop you there, DPP, and because you said you had to put it aside for other pressing matters. It's not that you are ignoring the case file, because there's been some suggestions out there, I suppose, by persons who may not have well-intended means, but in saying that, you know, the trial essentially, or the case, the investigation, is basically being ignored by the office for whatever reasons.
No, it's not being ignored by the office. Not at all. Well, let me tell you one of the factors here. Like, for example, in the instance of the doctor, let me start with this principle. You don't make a decision based on just half or 1/3 of the information. You get as much of the information as possible, and then you make the decision, right? Currently, we are still waiting for the autopsy report in relation to the cause of the death of the doctor, because I need to see what injuries she received, where she received them. I asked for information from the officer. What was the height of the vehicle which is alleged to have hit her? And I want to see if there's a correspondence between that.
Well, my Straight Talk family, that was approximately 2 weeks ago. And by now, unless we've missed it, if we have missed it, we do apologize. But Straight Talk very rarely miss important matters like these. And we are asking DPP Adlai Smith if you have received the autopsy report as yet. And if not, why not? But Straight Talk is demanding. That may sound a little strong, but we repeat it. Straight Talk is demanding an update on or from DPP Smith. You have heard of Ima or Milk as well. But Mr. DPP, the people of St. Kitts Nevis and the wider Caribbean anticipate and expect, rather, that you or your office would demonstrate accountability. So we're still following that story, my Straight Talk family. Our second observation comes from across the Narrows. And we told you some time ago about the high tower that has been constructed over there in Nevis. It's being built up in a residential area in Nevis by this billionaire friend of the snake, Mark Brantley. Now we are learning about permission that was apparently granted, and this is something additional. We are learning about permission that was apparently granted to this billionaire friend, this French billionaire friend of the snake. Straight Talk has learned that permission has been granted for him to construct a helipad at the Vance Emery International Airport. We know he has demanded that the airport, and he has provided access to financing. And in turn, the snake has approached Premier July for assistance to rehabilitate and expand his airport in the process to accommodate this French billionaire's jet plane. He was to fly right into Nevis and not land at RLB, where there is an international airport, and he can take the fast boats, since no one has the courage, the guts as yet to agree to build a bridge to connect the islands. We know that this French billionaire, Drahi, when he goes to Paris, he has to drive hours to get to his home. But when he lands here, he wants, perhaps if possible, to have his landing right by his villa. But we cannot confirm the accuracy of this information as it relates to permission being granted to construct a helipad. But on behalf of some concerned divisions, we are calling on Brantley to provide some clarity on these matters. Reaching Straight Talk as well as a story relating to several $1 million worth, several million US dollars worth of art or paintings that have apparently been brought into Nevis by Mark Brantley's billionaire friend without the appropriate customs declarations and applicable duty, unless the cabinet in Nevis, the NIA cabinet, has granted duty-free concession. But we understand that millions of dollars worth of art or paintings have been brought into Nevis, and the appropriate customs declarations and applicable duty has not been levied. And that is reliably rumored, and nothing was paid or levied. And Straight Talk asks, quite frankly, what are behind these secret deals? And we're asking on behalf of some concerned divisions, what are behind these secret deals with this French billionaire friend of the snake? Many are asking because poor businesses in Nevis get no break on taxes, get no break on their duties. And we ask as well, how is the federal government allowing these things to happen when we in Senkis provide the NIA with $66 million of budgetary support? And further, under the team Unity administration, over $500 million were received in grants. Yes, $500 million were granted to the NIA under the snake, which has not been fully accounted for to date. Yet for going on to 8 years or more, or perhaps slightly less, a wing at the Alexandria Hospital cannot be completed. Construction of a wing at the Alexandria Hospital cannot be completed for well over 7 years. I've never seen something like that in my public life. But my Straight Talk family, it is sad that these colonial machinations, these colonial favors are being extended by an quote-unquote independent leader in the height, in the middle of this Black History Month. But those are my observations in review for tonight, my Straight Talk family. And I want to hasten to move right into my thesis, which, if you have just joined me, I intimated earlier that I have titled this thesis, Take the Money and Vote Them Out. And my Straight Talk family, just yesterday, I met a very good friend of mine in the supermarket. And it seemed as though she was longing to meet someone to whom she could have vented her feelings. And our friendship, I may add, spans decades. And it is a genuine one, based on mutual respect. And one I can tell you, politics never got between us. She was a staunch Labour supporter, so much so that when I contested the elections in 2015, she confessed to me upfront, saying, "Patches, I would love to give you a chance, beg your pardon. And I know you would do well." But lo and behold, she went on to say, "Patches, you are running for unity, but on a PAM ticket, and I can't vote for PAM." Disappointed I was, yes, but I respected her forthrightness and her honesty. But note I said earlier, she was a staunch Labour supporter. But not anymore, as she is so mad with the poor performance of this bunch of little boys, she called them. These were her words. She was mad with the poor performance of this bunch of little boys. She's mad with the performance of these little boys in government, she repeated. Imagine, all these years I live in Taylor's, she remarked, and with all the rain falling, Cocky Conris for months now could only give us water 4 hours every day. And she pointed me to this schedule, this water schedule issued in January, my straight talk family. And it reminded me of a lady from Shadler's who went to social media and did tell the country how she felt about what's happening with the water supply in Shadwell area where she lives. And she said this, my straight talk family, so I could have appreciated what my friend from over there in Taylor's was saying, as per the schedule that's on your monitors, my straight talk family. But this lady had this to say.
I live up in Shadwell and I can't get water. There was rationing water, fair enough. Give people water in the day when they're up and can use it. You put out water 4 o'clock in the morning. Who wake up 4 o'clock in the morning unless they're going to work to 5? Them children wake up 4 o'clock, by 8 o'clock water gone. We need water. I want my washing machine to function. We want the fridge to function. How it's supposed to function. The toilet them a mash up. You got call plumber every month. That's when the water coming 4 o'clock in the morning. All kind of sound. Oh man, come on man. Unacceptable behavior.
And this is the latest schedule, as I said, that was issued by the Water Services Department. And you can glean from same that water comes at 4 o'clock, according to the lady. 4 a.m. in the morning. And it goes even before 9 a.m., I am told, my straight talk family. And my heart go out. My heart, my straight talk family, goes out to those folks not only in Taylor's Village, that's my constituency, but Ways Garden, as you can glean, Shadwell East and Shadwell West, Pine Gardens, College Housing, Buckley's Park, Buckley's Housing Development, and Buckley's Extension. And this has been going on now, my straight talk family, for months, many, many months. And the so-called engineer has found no answer for the pains of these residents. And the soccer engineer, Congress, he's also paying millions of dollars to rent 6 generators, the lady said to me. She said, Congress is paying 6 millions, beg your pardon, to rent 6 generators. And every minute, electricity going off in Taylor's village. And she was right, because he is, in fact, renting generators.
The government staunchly committed to continuously improving the quality of life for the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, and in particular in St. Kitts through access to reliable electricity, has guaranteed full financial absorption of all costs associated with this 12-month Skelec Agreco 6 megawatt rental agreement to the tune of approximately $10.5 million.
Imagine that, my Straight Talk family. $10.5 million. And my friend went on. Don't talk about Jeffrey, the slow student as you call him, she continued. He's a waste of time. All he does is dress up like a pretty dolly every day. But my friend stunned me, however, when she said, and I quote, Patches, I am telling everybody quietly, when they come by you next time to get your vote and offer you anything, just take the money and vote them out. And I want you to take that advice seriously, because July strongly believes that he can buy back his way into power, my Straight Talk family. July really believes that he can buy back his way into power. Remember, he told us that St. Kitts Nevis elections can be bought. He said this to us, my Straight Talk family, very early in his term.
The election in St. Kitts and Nevis, whether you believe it or not, can be bought. It is not too expensive for a rich person to buy an election in St. Kitts and Nevis. This election has proven that.
This election, he says, has proven that elections can be bought. Elections can be bought, are the words of the incumbent prime minister, who told the world that a rich person can easily buy elections in St. Kitts and Nevis. Let me make this point, though, my Straight Talk family. Elections are no guarantee of democracy. But it is also true that democracy does not exist without elections. So when July next runs for office, we know that the election may ostensibly be free. It may appear to be free, but I dare say it will not be fair. What does it mean to have free and fair elections, one may ask? Is it possible to have a free but unfair election? How unfair does an election have to be to no longer be considered democratic? And recently I read an article in Freedom House under the caption, Democracy in Crisis, which stated that the values it embodies, particularly the right to choose leaders in free and fair elections, freedom of the press, and the rule of law, are under assault and in retreat globally, unquote. Democracy today in St. Kitts Nevis finds itself battered and weakened and compare the 7 years of team unity from 2015 to 2022 to now in 2025, after just under 3 years of the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party, led by Terence Michael July, it seems as though we are sliding into authoritarian rule. Straight Talk has come to warn you tonight, therefore, my fellow Kittitians and Nevisians, that a sinister plan was hatched just 2 months after Labour returned to office in August 2022. The manager of the Electoral office retired or was sent on retirement. But to date, this position held by this lady from Sandy Point has not been replaced, has not been filled. This evil plan was conceived or brought into existence shortly thereafter with the appointment of retired Labour lackey, I call him, Oakland Peets, my Straight Talk family. 2 months after coming to office, you inform the country of this.
We remain committed to ensuring a free and fair electoral process, and as part of this commitment, we have appointed Mr. Oakland Peets as the new supervisor of elections.
That was reported by SKN Newsline, my Straight Talk family. The Oakland Peets that I know will blindly follow orders or serve Dr. July without question, no doubt for some form of personal gain, and surely not out of any sense of duty to the country. This was the latest announcement from the supervisor of elections, Oakland Peets, my Straight Talk family, who informed the country of this.
Fellow citizens and residents, greetings. I am Oakland Peets, Supervisor of Elections. I've come to you again to inform the general public that effective the 31st of January, the annual registration...
I do apologize for that, my Straight Talk family. Seems as though this video, for some reason,
of voters, which includes the names of persons who were registered as voters as of November 2024, will be posted at 2 conspicuous places in each polling division on Friday the 31st of January 2025, in accordance with the provisions of Section 43, subsection 1 of the National Assembly Election Act.
I do apologize for that blank screen, my Straight Talk family. Don't know why that video was not played. Nonetheless, my Straight Talk family, the objection process or the objection period that allowed for names to be removed from the register of voters would have passed on Monday, February 10th, which Oakland Peets, the supervisor, spoke to as well.
All registered voters are kindly requested to check the register of voters to ensure that their names are listed on the register. Any person who claims to be registered as a voter and whose name, address, and occupation have changed or are entered incorrectly may claim to be registered correctly by completing a notice of claim, form number 7, and submit it to the registration officer at the electoral office not later than February 10, 2025. Any person whose name appears on the register of voters for an electoral district may object to the registration of any person whose name is included in the said register, and persons who wish to make objection to names appearing on the register should complete a notice of objection form number 8 and submit it to the registration officer not later than Monday, February 10, 2025. All registered voters are kindly requested.
I must apologize profusely, my Straight Talk family, for that blank screen. It should have been showing the new supervisor of elections with that announcement. But the last time a report was given regarding the number of registered voters in St. Kitts Nevis was back in 2022 by the former supervisor of elections, Mr. Bailey, who said this to the country.
Constituency number 1 has 6,366 voters. That's 6366. In constituency number 2, there are 5,735 voters. That is 5735. Constituency number 3 has 4,429 voters assigned. That's 4429. Constituency number 4 has 3,579 voters assigned. That's 3579. Constituency number 5 has 3,223 voters. That's 3223. Constituency number 6 has 3,467 voters. That's 3467. Constituency number 7 has 3,846 voters. That's 3846. Constituency number 8 has 7,370 voters. That's 7370. Constituency number 9 has 6,669 voters. That's 6669. Constituency number 10 has 1,845 voters. That's 1845. Constituency number 11 has 4,404 voters. That's 4404. The voters list, therefore, as currently configured, contains 38,015 voters in St. Kitts. That's 38015 voters in St. Kitts, and 12,918 voters in Nevis. That's 12918, for a total of 50,933 voters. That's 50933.
And that was the last time, my Straight Talk family, we got information on the number of voters that were registered. 50,000, beg your pardon, 933. But by law, there is an ongoing registration process in St. Kitts and Nevis. So that number may have decreased or may very well have increased. And I believe it's the latter. Interesting to note, however, and though the last census report has never been published, Secretary Marcus Nuttall, Dr. Marcus Nuttall, made this announcement in his post-cabinet briefing since June the 3rd last year, June 3, 2024. And Nuttall had this to say.
The estimated population of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis for 2022 is 51,320 persons, marking an 8.7% increase over the 2011 census count of 47,195 persons. This reflects an increase of 4,125 persons over the 11-year period averaging an annual increase of 0.76% during the intercensal period. The island of St. Kitts is home to 38,138 persons, accounting for 74% of the federal population, while Nevis, with 13,182 persons, comprises the remaining 26%.
My Straight Talk family, I went to the extent to ensure that I provided this data in order to sensitize you, my Straight Talk family, that the reported configuration of the register of voters in 2022 was 50,933 voters, 38,105 on St. Kitts, and 12,918 on Nevis, according to the former Supervisor of Elections, Elwin Bailey. Whereas the enumerated population of St. Kitts Nevis in 2022, according to Cabinet Secretary Dr. Marcus Natter, was 51,320 persons, 38,138 persons on St. Kitts, and 13,182 persons on Nevis, an increase of 4,125 persons from the last census before 2022. It was 2011. Are you getting it, my Straight Talk family? On the voters list, 38,105 on St. Kitts. On the census report, 38,138 on St. Kitts. On the voters list, 12,918 on Nevis. And on the census report, 13,182 on Nevis. I mentioned earlier free and fair. And I asked the question, what does it mean for elections to be free and fair? And I submit that the free and fair election is one where all citizens have an equal opportunity to participate, where voters can express their choice without fear of intimidation, and where all votes are counted equally. There should be transparency in the process, allowing voters to trust that their voices matter. This includes ensuring that there are no external influences, such as financial power, distorting the outcome. The concern about overseas votes is particularly poignant. It's bittersweet sadness to many people here on St. Kitts and Nevis. When individuals who have no tangible, no real connection to a constituency are allowed to influence the outcome, my Straight Talk family, it makes the election feel like a reflection of the will. It makes the election, beg your pardon, feel less like a reflection of the will of the people who live here on St. Kitts and Nevis. This creates an imbalance in the democratic process. If one plain load of people, for example, can sway the results of the election, it undermines the integrity of the system. I recall then leader and Prime Minister Denzel Douglas was not afraid to say this, my Straight Talk family. He said this in 2015.
On that final flag of the ride, after the polling stations were closed, there was no less than 99 passengers who were ready to vote for constituency number 1, Labour. and no less than 66 passengers registered to vote for constituency number 4, Labour. In these two constituencies, number 1, 4 votes separated us from the so-called victory, and 26 votes separated us from the victory in number 4.
Douglas was not afraid to say, had his final flight arrived before the polls closed, there were 99 passengers on board for constituency 1 and 56 for constituency 4. My Stray Dog family, money is therefore or can therefore undermine fairness. The influence of money in elections here in St. Kitts Nevis has increasingly undermined the fairness of our electoral process. I mentioned before the notable concern or the practice of overseas voting that allows individuals with no connection to a constituency to influence the election outcomes. The lack of requirements to prove residency or ties to a specific constituency creates an environment where political parties and candidates alike exploit this loophole by flying in overseas voters and placing them particularly in marginal seats. The ability to mobilize large numbers of voters through financial means skews the results in favor of the wealthier political interests, effectively buying the election, as Terence Michael July said. This manipulation distorts the democratic process as it diminishes the power of local constituents to have meaningful say in the political direction of the country in which they live and work all their lives. When will we change this corrupt electoral system? The erosion of the fairness of elections in St. Kitts and Nevis contributes to a broader political and social crisis. When elections are distorted by money, all lose faith in the democratic process. The ability of the electorate to choose their government based on principles of competence, leadership, and vision is undermined. And this is exactly why we have this incompetent July administration that cannot provide basic public services like water and electricity, failing to meet the needs of the population. But believe it or not, my Stray Dog family, elections are just around the corner. And we must beware. Straight Talk warns everyone to stay alert and watch out for everything that could cause problems if we are not careful. The July administration controls the electoral office, and we have already heard about plans to gerrymander the boundaries, among other things. The July administration cannot run on performance because it has done nothing. It has not implemented one capital project to date, and it's already past halfway in its term in office. Basic public goods, like water and electricity, I said, are not being delivered in a reliable way. And the cost of living continues to skyrocket on a daily basis. Housing construction remains elusive after announcing 2 years ago that an agreement was signed to construct 2,400 homes, 2,400 homes, reported the Slow Student.
Today, as the Minister responsible for housing and human settlement, I am pleased to formally announce that the government of St. Kitts and Nevis and National Housing Corporation (NHC) has signed a contract with East Coast Housing Development, a Trinidadian-based developer, to finance and deliver 2,400 affordable smart homes over a period of 4 years, 600 of which will be made available each year.
The Bassi High School has been listed under the CBI as a public benefit option. And just to inform you, they have not even built 10 homes in 2 years since that announcement. Getting back to the Bassi High School, we understand that 1,200 shares have been approved by the Citizenship by Investment Unit at US $275,000 per unit or per share. And that would yield over $330 million if my mathematics, which is my strongest weak point, is correct. The construction cost of the school, Straight Talk has uncovered, is US $50 million. Just over $100 million. So who would benefit from the millions that will derive from this project? The slow student, with much disdain, has ignored the public that is yearning for information. But this is their model of transparency, my Straight Talk family. What about agriculture? The farmers are still waiting, my Straight Talk family, for the money that Samuel promised that will grow on trees.
We see we have a wonderful alternative in breadfruit. And so we don't have to go without pasta, Madam Speaker, because the world is out of wheat. We can grind our breadfruit into flour and turn that flour into pasta and eat a more nutritious pasta dinner than we would have gotten buying it in the store from overseas. So you see, an economy towards success, we must strengthen that. And the lack of interest that we see in people joining our cooperative position in this today, however, a few days difference may have permitted that. But I can dare say that my dear friend and colleague, the Attorney General, would agree that the work that we are doing in strengthening our legislations to address some of the issues raised by my friend and honorable member for Nevis 9 would put us in a place in 2023 to say that St. Kitts and Nevis is open for business as it relates to a marijuana industry. Well, you see, Madam Speaker, yes, and that deserves a wow. Because in 2023, we will be open for business. Madam Speaker, the marijuana industry, as we have heard, is a multi-billion-dollar industry. And we have been dragging at a snail's pace in getting involved. And I could not understand for the life of me why. Literally growing money on trees. But yet somehow, we don't want to participate. But I dare say, that era is over, and it's now a new day, and a better way. So in 2023, expect a vibrant, thriving marijuana industry. And for now, I leave it right there on marijuana.
A big joke, but you heard it right, my Straight Talk family. In 2023, it's now 2025. Nothing has been heard about the Tabasco Pepper Project plans to reduce our food import bill. Nothing has been heard about 25 by 25 as well, my Straight Talk family.
Madam Speaker, I now wish to turn our attention squarely to the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries, Marine Resources. In this ministry, Madam Speaker, our goal is, of course, to ensure that we bring food and nutrition security to our nation. We want our people not only to have more locally produced food, Madam Speaker, but to ensure that this food is of the highest nutritional and quality standards. And in that regard, Madam Speaker, we have adopted a more measurable goal. A goal that we have not adopted alone. For as members of CARICOM, we have bought into the 25 by 25 agenda, where we have agreed across CARICOM to invest in our people that they may more adequately be able to participate in reducing our food import bill by 25% by the year 2025.
And my Stray Dog family, we have heard nothing of the current disposition as it relates to reduction of our food import bill. Nothing is happening in agriculture. Nothing is happening with this government, my Stray Dog family. Everything we hear, they're on the way. Still on the way, my Stray Dog family.
The capital project, I will say, let me go through them for you, if you don't mind. Smart homes, on their way. Right? On the way. The hospital, on the way as well. The school, on the way as well. The solar plant or solar farm, on the way as well. There are some others I will mention, not yet, but they are definitely coming on the way. We have about 2 other major investments. One will be an agriculture major investment that will also come. We have an investment for the port, airport, that is advancing significantly as well. I'm saying that when, in the next few months, I'm almost certain that we'll run out of construction workers here.
My Stray Dog family, construction workers have not bothered with Dr. July. As many we have told have migrated to St. Martin, to Anguilla, and other neighboring islands in search of work. With nothing to show, July will resort to buying the elections, a practice that has gone on in some parts of the world for centuries. Here we knew about flour power, flour and mackerel in the R.L. Bradshaw times. But some candidates believe money will earn them loyalty at the ballot box. But selling your vote makes for bad governance, and it encourages corruption. My Stray Dog family, those responsible for the oversight of the electoral system would turn a blind eye to the anomalies or irregularities like the pompous Attorney General Garth Lucifer Wilkin. Imagine the leader of the Nevis Reformation Party cites an irregularity and raises this irregularity. What is wrong with that, my Stray Dog family? What is wrong with Janice Daniel Hodge speaking about the annual register of voters that was issued on January 31st, and persons had up to February the 10th to file objections, and she said it felt like pulling teeth to get an electronic copy of the register. And what is wrong with that? But the pompous Attorney General, in responding to a legitimate concern raised, and the disrespectful and incompetent Attorney General responds. Look at his response, my Stray Dog family. I am he has presumed she read the Constitution. It is therefore unfortunate that you have to take a public forum to mislead the general public with respect to his office. What is he talking about, my straight talk family, about misleading his office or misleading the public about his office? My straight talk family, the Attorney General Garth Lucifer Wilkin is the minister responsible for elections. And this gives him the authority to ensure that the programs of the office are aligned with government policy and that resources are allocated efficiently, my straight talk family. This was his message in his budget address, my straight talk family. The minister's message coming from the Attorney General Garth Lucifer Wilkin. Read the last paragraph, my straight dog family. Within the Attorney General's office, the AGO, a dedicated team of attorneys at law and clerks serve as the guardians of the rule of law, guided by the fundamental principles of justice, transparency, and accountability. Furthermore, he writes, the Attorney General's office plays a pivotal role by furnishing essential administrative support to ensure the autonomous operation of the Director of Public Prosecutions, the integrity in Public Life Commission's office, and the Electoral Office. It is imperative, he writes, that these important constitutional offices are equipped with the requisite resources, including skilled attorneys at law and support staff, my straight dog family. So in terms of control, it can be understood that the Attorney General's supervisory role to ensure that all activities within the department are in line with the broader policy and legislative framework set by the government. Look at this, my straight dog family. Look at it. The global objectives of his ministry, the ministry with responsibility for elections, to manage the electoral process in a fair and consistent manner in keeping with the Constitution of the Federation. Look at the program, my straight dog family. Provide electoral services. What does it say about Responsibility Center? Responsibility Center, the office of the Attorney General. This man doesn't know his job, does he? My straight dog family? When he's writing that nonsense. But it goes further, my straight dog family. When it comes to accountability, my straight dog family. When it comes to accountability, look at this. Look at this, my straight dog family. Manage legal representation of the government and provide electoral services. Who is the officer in charge? The Attorney General. This man doesn't know his job. He doesn't know his buttocks from his elbow. My straight dog family, I dare say. Accountability. With the authority to manage and control the office comes a high level of accountability. Garth Wilkin, you are the minister who must report to the legislature, the parliament, and you must be answerable for the actions and outcomes of this office. And this includes answering questions, appearing before committees, and defending the department's performance in public and in parliamentary systems. Garth Lucifer Wilkin, you are out of order. In conclusion, my straight dog family, and to my friend who told me quietly she's telling everybody to take the money and vote them out. My advice would be, instead of taking cash from politicians is to ask them, demand commitments, specific promises of action for your community, your constituency, for which you can hold them accountable, like housing, land, cheaper electricity, and other projects. If you can demonstrate that, you built houses for your community will turn out to vote for you much more than if you gave them small amounts of cash in the run-up to election day. The integrity of elections is essential to the functioning of democracy. In St. Kitts and Nevis, the increasing influence of money has distorted the electoral process, undermining the fairness of elections and eroding public trust in democratic institutions. As the country moves toward its next election, it is critical that citizens, political leaders, and policymakers work together to reform the system, ensuring that elections are both free and fair. For those politicians who would insist on bribery, remember the ballot is secret. Then you can take the money and vote them out. That's my story tonight, my Straight Dog family, and I am not going to change it. I will open the lines and entertain your calls and your emails. And when I do so, which is any moment now, I anticipate that you will respect others. And of course, to achieve that, you must first respect yourselves. Let us try to be fair to all concerned, and let us try to build goodwill and better friendships. And in the process of saying and or doing those things, let us strive to build a kinder, gentler St. Kitts and Nevis. I tired of this a little longer, my Straight Talk family. It's 9:13, and I go to the lines and say good night to my first caller. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Good night. Good night, Mr. Liburd.
Good night, my dear. How about that?
I'm good. I am great. I'm going to speak very slowly for this one.
Okay.
Election belong to the people. It's their decision.
It's their decision.
If they decide to turn their back on the fire,
turn their back on the fire
and burn their behinds, then they will just have to sit on their blisters.
They will just have to sit on their blisters. They will just have to sit.
Okay, I'm going to repeat it one more time. Election belongs to the people. It's their decision. If they decide to turn their back on the fire and burn their behinds, then they will just have to sit on their blisters. Have a great evening.
Have a great evening as well. Thank you very much for your quotations as usual. Elections belong to the people. It's their decision. If they decide to turn their back on the fire and burn their behind, then they will just have to sit on the blisters. Thank you for taking your time and for sharing that with me. Caller, thank you for holding your live. Hello, caller.
Good night, Brother Patches.
Yes, good night, my dear brother. How art thou?
I am humble, peaceful, and calm.
Good to hear you.
And I must say good night to all the listening audience, far and near. And I got to include the diaspora where I am. Brother Patches, interesting topic tonight. And if I may recite, going back, I spoke about and I lashed out against the bribery during the election process of buying votes for money and giving money for votes, vice versa. It is condemned, and I was so glad that you came out with this topic. because it was said election can be bought. And perhaps it was bought the last time. But no more. No more. Because the eagles are in the air. And Big Ben is all around. Now, if I may say also, it is treason, whether it is selling out your country to a foreign entity or within. It is treason. And it is wrong and it's against the law, which is contrary. So I am going to say to the people, when you're being approached, and you will be approached for vote for money, take their damn money and vote them out. I've said it before and I will reiterate it. Now, if I may move on to another issue, I am asking the question, why we are having these water and electricity outage in the Federation? And I'm saying we because I'm a part of it. I'm a part of it because if I was there physically, I would have been facing it. So I got to say we. Congress, I need you to step up and make a statement. Another issue, I'm just asking these questions and I demand answers. And we demand answers. When will real capital project get started? The high number of people are unemployed. What are we going to do about that? If we have high capital projects going, then the construction industry, the food industry will prosper because from one to the next, everything will feed. It's a circle, everything intertwined. And last but not least, why did Mr. Drew broke his promise to pay $1,500 a month to the people and now giving this thing called BBW? What is $250 can do for anyone? EC dollars. $250, people, don't let $250 hyper you all. Okay? $250 can't even buy crack cocaine. $250 can't even buy a sardine. Okay? So don't be brave, don't be fooled. All these monies that was promised to be given, all the social programs that was promised to be a service to the people, you know where the money is? The money is held back to buy vote when it's at the last stage before election. Do not be fooled and be warned. To all your politicians, to all your sidekickers, if you are being caught doing this, I need you to go to jail. And I will be one to find a judge to sentence you all for you all treason and you all theft of election. And listen, I am no stranger to this straight talk and the world. I am serious. I am serious about it. And I'm going to tell you a president that I admire in this world. The president of Boko in Africa. Boko Faso. But anyway, I will yield to somebody else and I will come back again because I have more concerns and I have more questions to be asked to those people who are in authorities. The people of St. Kitts are taken for fools and they are not fools. And if they don't have a voice, I will be their voice because I've been informed. Bye for now. Thank you for the time.
Thank you for your intervention as well, you know. This email reads, I'll juggle our emails and calls so that I don't get them banked up on me. Dear Patches, please deliver this hard dose of reality to Dwyer Astafan because it's time he faces the truth. Dwyer, you love to pretend you're the wise elder, the main man with all the answers. But let's get real. You're one of the biggest hypocritical, I don't think I can call that word or use that word, in this country. For sake of indemnity, I'll skip that word. Your commentary is always filled with insight. But who takes you seriously anymore? Not even Jokey Drew, the same man you fought tooth and nail to put in power. Let's not forget, you campaigned relentlessly for Judas. You turned yourself into the biggest puppy show cheerleader, dragging Douglas through the mud because of your personal vendetta. You told the nation Judas was the best thing since sliced bread. He was brilliant. He loved the people. He cared. And now look at the mess we're in. $10 million wasted on rented generators. Yet the country's electricity supply blinks like Christmas lights, leaving homes, businesses, and even the airport in darkness. Ministers hiking their salaries to over $20,000 a month, while pensioners struggle to buy food. Millions spent on first-class trips and joyrides abroad, but not a cent to help struggling families. Government contracts given to their friends, while ordinary people get nothing but empty promises. You see Jew's failure. You speak about them every week, yet you refuse to admit that you helped put this Bamako disaster in motion. Instead, you try to slither away like a cowardly snake, hoping no one remembers your role. But we remember. Dwyer, own it. Read that email. Caller, I want to thank you for calling your live. Hello, caller.
Gracias.
Yes, my lord.
Oh, this is the Major. How are you?
The Major. I am.
Yes.
I am peaceful. I'm standing at attention. I can inform.
All right. Oh, stand easy. Stand easy. Stand easy.
Okay, I'm gone easy now.
All right. This is something I want you to listen to me. And I do it. I've listened to me carefully. I want you to listen to me carefully.
I always do.
Philosophy is a study of knowledge, thought, and the meaning of life. And you have to remain calm and believe that happiness could achieve. Exemplary, let's have faith. I want to leave you with a quotation that you can think about it. Even in your twilight days, you will always remember this. And here it goes like this. Here it goes like this. Listen to it, Tashes.
Yes,
it is during our darkest moments that we must focus to see the light. And this thing, I talk about it. I read it today and I thought I'd share to you. And this thing was done by, the fellow Aristotle, Onassis.
Aristotle, yes.
Huh?
Yes, certainly.
Yes. And he, when I read that, I say, well, boy, I will want it to come. That I could tell you it. And I like it. It is during the darkest moment that we must focus to see the light.
Yes.
I don't know what's going on. I'm still here. I don't know that. If you could help me with that, if you could analyze that and pass for me, because I like English. I like English. I love English. I like English and I like math.
You are the
greatest, I like English and I like math.
You are the greatest philosopher because you are a lover of wisdom, my brother.
Yes.
Not just like English. You love wisdom.
Yes, I love wisdom. Yes. Okay, Harry, when you're done, finish.
Oh, you say you like reading, so you seek to.
Yes. You see, because.
Yeah, go ahead.
You see, Patches, usually I like to read, you see, because fortunately for me, you know my Sam, you know my mother.
Oh, yes.
And she worked hard for us. And I was fortunate that I was able to see the various countries and absorb. And now he's coming to me really, reality, man.
Oh, yes.
That we must focus to see the light. Remember I spoke to you the other time about light,
Oh, yes.
You remember that?
Certainly, my brother. Certainly.
Okay. We have to see. We have to do that. We have to focus to see the light. Let us forget about this abstract thing and stuff. This is serious time, man. This is serious time, right? Yes. Thank you very much, Patrick.
Thank you as usual, Major, for your intervention. Let's go back to the lines and thank this caller for holding. Caller, you are live. Hello, caller.
Good night, Patrick. Good night.
Yes, good night. Good night, sir. Good night. How are you?
Hey, how are you today? How are you tonight? How are you tonight?
I am peaceful. Yourself?
Oh, just trying to do the same, pursue peace in my life, you know.
Okay.
I miss Bible Man. That's the real subject of your show when he started. I hope he's fine.
Well, he probably fell asleep, you know. He's probably...
I enjoy him. I enjoy him very much, you know.
Many people do.
He have a little knowledge of the Bible, and he give a blessing to your show. That is important.
Very well.
Don't take it simply. He give a blessing to your show, you know.
I call it
spiritual
intervention, I call it.
Right. Patrick, I want to respectfully give my opinion on your conversation. I stand to respect your opinion, but I still have to disagree with you in one sense, in a nice, neutral way, you know, not disrespectful. When you were talking about, you know, giving money to people to manipulate the election and all this kind of stuff and have people vote for you, and also importing folks from different parts of, you know, the Caribbean and the United States to come in and vote for you. I think in a fair humanity way, I recognize that it's being done in St. Kitts. You know, but the politician is not a one-sided situation. It's being a three-sided situation by the three political parties. Your leader gave a lot of money. I know we are just having a conversation. I don't want to be disagreeable with you. You know, your leader gave money to manipulate the vote, the election. The Labour government has done the same thing. PAM government has done the same thing. So in reality, it is a taboo within the three parties who are doing that to the mentality and the welfare of the people life. So when you have a situation like that, when someone going to take $90,000 and give it to an individual and ask them to distribute it during your leader reign, and the individual have a night and giving somebody something, what do you think going to happen? It's going to captivate the person's mind because money is a great force. So in reality, it's being done by the three party. So what going to be the neutral stand within that situation? Who going to say, well, enough is enough? All of the three party have to come to the decision and say enough. But in politics, it's not going to be like that because it's an evil train.
Well,
it's a manipulated train also.
Well, I take your point, you know, my brother. I take your point, and I would hasten to add, and I said it in my thesis as well, it is a practice that has gone on for centuries in different parts of the world, right? Because some candidates believe money will buy them loyalty at the ballot box, right? But the point is, there's evidence that selling your vote is not good for governance, or it makes for bad governance. It encourages corruption. That's the point I'm making, right? And the thing about paying for a trip, I mean, there's some people, I remember I met a lady who lived in England for over 40 years, and she came back, this is some elections ago, she came back for the first time in 40 years. Would you believe that? You know, she had a paid trip, and something has to be wrong with that. But anyway, make your point. You're entitled to your view. Don't feel. As straight up, you're entitled to your view. You don't have to agree with me.
Your view, right. Well, I just say I respect your opinion, but I disagree with you.
No problem.
And I'm going to finish up. I'm going to finish up. And this is what I'm saying, Mr. Patrick. Your former leader has done that. Mm-hmm. The Labour government has done that. Mm-hmm. The PAM government has done that. Mm-hmm. And just lately, during the last election year, and election 2015. Your former leader has done that, give individual up to $90,000 to indoctrinate people mind to vote for them. I know that as a fact. Young men, the Labour government has done the same thing, give young men money to vote for them, to indoctrinate people to vote for them. So when young people, when you're going to give someone $90,000 and you're going to ask them to distribute it to people, to manipulate them, to enslave their mind to make a decision on their behalf during the election. And so we can't call it a foreplay. We have to see it as a reality. But it's a real reality that when we smell the coffee, maybe because you're talking about it now, probably smell the coffee if something's going to be wrong in the future, it's going to be the same thing continue. How to stop it? It's not going to stop, Mr. Patrick, because money talk, and who is in power have the money. And that's the whole thing. When your party was in power, they had the money. They distribute a lot of money to people, which was, that's crazy money.
Okay.
Crazy money, Mr. Patrick.
Got you, my brother. Got you, love.
So let us face reality. Don't be upset in my opinion, but let us face reality. It's not going to stop Patrick. Have a good night, brother. Nice to hear you.
Nice to hear you as well. And I want again to make it abundantly, perfectly clear, right? That everyone, my views I express on this program are my views, and I can assure that they are not absolute. So you are entitled to your view, and that is what Straight Talk is all about. But let's go back to the lines and thank this caller for holding. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Yeah, good evening, Patches. This is Straight Talk, right?
Yes, it is.
All right, I got two problems, and I want to address the problems that I have, and the problems that I'm seeing that, you do this show every week, and you've been doing this show for a lot of years, right? And my problem that I have with you is that you are doing this show and you are bringing all this information to the people, and I always try to find out what is your end result. I can't understand how you've been doing this for so much years. You're going after the government, you're going after the ministers, you're going after everybody, you're finding all these information and nobody is challenging you. How are you able to come up with these information, present the facts, and nobody from the government is coming back and say, well, Patch is keeping this show, Patch is bringing up all this information, Patch is informing the country about what's going on. What is his ulterior motive? You're not a politician anymore. You're not promoting the opposition. You're not promoting the government. What is your end result? What are you trying to prove? So I'm just trying to figure, you're such a statesman that bringing all this information to people, especially people in the diaspora and people who are overseas. And you come with your show and then you present the evidence. So I am asking myself, what is Patch's motive for doing this show? You're not asking for compensation. You're not putting up no sponsors. You're not doing anything. How are you able to run a show for so much years and you're not getting no sponsor from nobody in the country? Your listeners not saying, well, hey, you know what? Let us come together. Let us do a funding for this program because this program is well informed. I'm a strong supporter of the Prime Minister Joe, but when I get chance, I listen to your show and I am waiting for someone to come back and challenge what you're saying. And I'm not seeing it. So what is your end results, Mr. Liburd? What are you proving to people?
Well, there's no ulterior motive. I don't like that, but it's your choice of words. But if we can substitute that, the expected outcome for me is to have a better St. Kitts and Nevis. While he was speaking just now, right? I flashed back many years ago when I played music with the J Brass, right? And we played at PAM tonight, and we played at Massey's House tomorrow, and we played at PAM Friday night, and we played at Massey's House Saturday night, or vice versa. I mean, people went anywhere they want to go. But this tribal attitudes and culture. We just have to get rid of it, and perhaps that's why it motivates me to
not cutting you.
Yeah.
Hold your thought real quick. So today I'm checking out what's going on in social media, and people are praising you. People are reposting a show that you did where you are praising the Honorable Marshall Henderson for doing a wonderful job, right? And one post from I know it's a fake page, it's a Glennet Nisbet or something. I know it's a fake page. They're saying the leader persons from the opposition are even praising Marshall Henderson. But I don't see you as an opposition, and I'm being real. You're not part of the government, so what opposition are you? And I'm going to give you praise for praising Marshall Henderson because you bring it like it is when it's good and it's bad. So like I said, my problem that I have, I would like to know what is your end result week after week. And no one in St. Kitts or overseas is coming up and say, well, can we put something together where we can raise some money for this man to pay for the internet? You have to pay for streaming. You have to pay for internet. You are a retired man. You have to go out and find resources. You have to go out and put clips together. So I just want to know, like you say, what is your end result? What are you trying to achieve? I listen after you.
Thank you very much, my dear brother. Like I said, I always say it's a public service program, and yes, I understand it's a cost, and it would be welcome if we get support, and I look forward to support. But and some people don't like to hear this because we brought nothing into this world, and we take nothing from this world, So I could understand your point, and as I said, we welcome. We ask for support, right? Some people give, some don't give. I mean, a $5 or $10 would help us a long way, certainly, right? We're not asking you for $1,000, but at the same time, it's not about money. It's about public service. When I went into the government, and I was actually headhunted in government, and Denzel Douglas would remember this if he's upfront and straightforward. I laughed because I had a job, and he caught me with 2 words. He said, "Patches, man, it's Patches public service." Those 2 words. So perhaps it's some of that still in my straight dog family. I'll expand on that, but I have some callers on the line. I'll take this one. Caller, you're live.
Good night.
Good night. Good night. Good night, Mr. Bible Man.
How are you, sir?
I am peaceful. Yourself?
Okay. Well, it is so good to really hear you.
Likewise to hear.
Now,
I have a lot of calls waiting.
I am telling you, God is a good God.
Yes, all the time.
Now, you stand out like Esther. If I perish,
I perish.
I am going to see the king. Matthias, there was a man, Haman. He went to the king to buy out the Jews. So carry some money to the king. And when he went, he had one motive: to kill all the Jews. But there was a man in the province. He wanted to build a gallows for that Mordecai. Let's see what happened. Mordecai hear about it. And Mordecai sent a message to Queen Esther and tell Esther, not because you're in the palace, that you is not going to get killed. And so Mordecai talked to Esther, and Esther here. And Esther sent back and tell Mordecai, you and your people must fast and pray. And me and the others will fast and pray. When the trap fly, Haman want to kill Mordecai, so he build a gallows. And Esther stand up and Esther say, I am going to see the king. If I perish, I perish. Today, he need a leader who will stand up for the people. And so, Mr. Pattis, when the king hear that Haman want to kill all the Jews, and the next thing will happen, Mordecai saved the king alive when he hear that Mordecai saved his life. The king get up one morning and ask them in the province, there is nobody who could save this man's life. And so the king said, God, Esther went and made a province call. And the king said to Esther, I will give you half of my kingdom. Esther didn't want that. She want to save her people's life. So that is the reason for a man who really want to, a woman want to really save the people's life. But tonight, it needs somebody who will work for the people. So I am telling you, what happened? Haman built a gallows, and he gave the gallows turned back, and Haman hung on the gallows. So I want to tell you tonight, when you dig a ditch, you dig two. I am saying to you, to Mr. McFadden, there come a day, whatever a man sow, and that they're going to reap. So I am telling everybody, do not do wrongful things, and come back to haunt you. And listen, I want to say tonight, by the grace of God, a God rule the whole universe here. And so, Esther said to herself, if I perish, I am going to see the king. And so, Mr. Pattis, he need a deliverer to deliver his people. Moses, God put Moses to deliver their people.
Okay.
And so, God is looking for a deliverer.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
So, Mr. Pattis,
thank you very much.
good night.
Have yourself.
And may the good Lord bless you and keep you.
Likewise, my brother.
I do not want to really get caught up. I noticed last week.
Okay, Bible man, thanks for that.
I see your finger hit them. So I tell myself, nah, me gonna go in anytime I want now.
Okay.
So when I go in anytime I want, nobody send me a point for number one.
Okay.
That's it. Have a pleasant night. Bye-bye.
Have yourself a wonderful night as well. Always thank you for your, what I call your spiritual interventions, my dear brother. And we go right back to the lines and thank this caller for holding caller your life. Hello.
Yes, greetings, brother Patches.
Greetings, my brother. How art thou?
Yeah, good. I just like to say pleasant good night to the listening audience here at home and brothers and sisters listening via the internet. No, you're talking about the tribalism in the country, right?
Some of that. Uh-huh.
Okay, and also about people giving out money when there's election time.
Right, yeah.
Okay. Well, you know, that's nothing new.
I know that, yes.
Okay, but it goes back to colonial days, in the sense that when the colonizers was in charge, what they used to do, the planters, they used to go around and give money, not money, rum and food
Flour
to the poor whites. Do you know that?
Yes. We've heard all of that. As I said, it's been going on for centuries.
Exactly. So what I'm saying now is that the colonizers transfer their culture to us. Mm-hmm. And we continue in it. But now look at it now. Look at it now. We are in the same boat. Whether it's the oligarchs or the poor people, because what I'm saying to you now is that when it comes to us as black people, they see all us the same way. Okay? So that's what I'm saying, is that we need to repent for our sins because we have sinned against each other. We need to come up with a new paradigm, my brother. You see what is up? My position is, yeah, we got problems locally, but the main thing that is affecting us is the geopolitical situation. No, you see, okay, you know about DEI.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, good. What I'm saying is that program came into being, right, in the United States, to give black people a share within the economic sphere. Because I could remember when I was living in New York, right, a lot of black people, there was a program put into place where certain firms had to have a certain amount of black people employed within a particular sector. Right? And my brother was one of those who got that so-called privilege, right? And other black people. So what I'm saying to you now, Trump is rolling that back, you know. And look at Elon Musk. I was just looking at a video. This saying Elon Musk is making $8 million from the federal government. You hear what I said? $8 million a day. So what I'm saying to you, my brother, and to our people, we all are in the same boat. We got to get our house in order. Because these people is going to put us back on the plantation. Yeah, Eric Prince said it, and Trump is saying it. So all I'm saying to our people, you understand, is that we have to sit down and put the house in order, because in terms of the Caribbean, Mr. Trump ain't dealing with us yet, yeah. So I'm saying to you, because I know it's coming. It's just a matter of time. You see? And all the sanctions that he's putting on China, the United States can't compete with China. Look at DeepSeek, the AI, right? DeepSeek just come out with a new AI, and everything gone haywire. They cannot compete with China. So they're doing everything to destroy China and then want us now to hate China. You see what I'm saying? I think what we need to do as a people, we need to have diplomatic ties with China, because China is the future. China is the future. So I'm saying to our people, if you don't want to look after black people interests and protect black people interests, then you're against us. That is what Granny said. Whatever is in black people's interest, not only here in the Caribbean but globally, if we don't want to deal with that, then you're against us. Because as you see, the colonizers, them are not playing. White supremacy is in full effect. You understand? And I want to hold back all the gains our people have made, my brother.
Okay, my brothers, I got you loud and clear. Thanks you, as usual. For
so I want to, before I go, I want to know, I want people to respond if they're for national unity. You understand? The movement for national unity. You support, I want to know if they support something like that. That's all, my brother. But Granny said love one another and respect each other. Give thanks.
Give thanks, my brother. Thank you for your interventions, as usual. Always thought-provoking. And yes, the DEI has gone back to the civil rights days, I recall. But caller, I want to thank you for holding you alive. Hello, caller.
Yeah, Patrice, good night, man. How you doing, man?
I am peaceful. Yourself?
Yeah, pretty good, man. Pretty good. Nice and easy. Yeah, I'm peaceful myself. Yeah, big up to the caller there, Kalandri. At some point, I'm going to have a conversation with him. We in the small island state of St. Kitts and Nevis, we are so small, you know, coming out of slavery, we were able to get control of our lands. And in recent times, you know, instead we put something in place to preserve those lands for the people and for agriculture so that we could be self-sufficient and being able to feed ourselves. You know, coming out of COVID, we're going right back to the old ways. You know, post-COVID is like a failed New Year's resolution. We're not investing enough in agriculture so we could feed our own mouths. You know, definitely that 25, what do they call that? 25 by 25? Yep. That seems like it's dead on arrival already. We're in the year 25 and there's hardly any talk about it right now. The farmers, them that used to come on Win FM, who call themselves the consortium, they gone silent. You know, rumors in the street say they probably was paid off to keep quiet now. They need not talk about that this year because it's already dead. Big up to them, two interesting callers, along with Kalandri make three that I see was interesting tonight. Kalandri, big up yourself, man. And yeah, like they say, you know, we're just fighting amongst ourselves. And it's all about manipulation. You know, the people in charge of St. Kitts and Nevis, these politicians, they're all doing the same thing. They don't have no integrity. They're selling out the place, and they're not representing the people that put them there. You know, this party politics thing is mashing up the place even more, while the rich white folks are sneaking back in. They're not even coming in the back door. They're coming in right through the front door and taking over again. And our leaders are allowing that. Being that we are so small, sooner or later, there will be no lands left for the working class. This prime minister that's in, when he came in, he promised a lot of stuff, and he went back to the party politics stuff. Me personally, all of these advisors that I see that's around him, they're all toxic. They should be replaced. The prime minister coming in brand new, as a new leader, with a lot of vigor and all that stuff, a lot of, you know, hope for the country. He should have really moved away from that party politics. Once the election is over, the leader's supposed to be concentrating on uniting the country and pushing the country forward, uplifting the people, and bettering the quality of life for the people. You know, I hardly see that happening in St. Kitts and Nevis. Every day, every night, all these talk shows, you know. I rise up out of the ashes where I never thought, for those who hearing my voice and may think that they want to oppose me, I'm going to tell them, let's get it on. Because once upon a time, to give the whole people, the whole world that's listening to me right now. Once upon a time, I never thought you could go home and vote. Never. But as I got reconnected, 2013, me myself being interested in the politics, I made the journey home. I made sure I was on the voters list, and I went home and voted. 2015 federal election, 2022 local election in Nevis. For those who are just talking, they need to make action.
Okay.
It's only action going to do it. It's only action going to do it.
Yes, action.
But Patches, once I found out I could vote, I got involved and I went home and did my thing. But there's some persons on the opposite side, they don't like the fact that people in the diaspora are able to come home and vote. But guess what? The Constitution allows that. And those persons...
I don't think, well, I mean, you're entitled to your opinion, but I think most people who are here, what they frown at is the fact that whichever party does it, it is wrong. You have, I mean, plain loads of people being sponsored by some benefactor. And the benefactor not going to sponsor plain loads for nothing, you know? You understand? So plain loads of people come down and you just put your name on the list and you get on the flight, you put them in the hotel, you go back the next day. And everybody's suffering. That is nobody's saying they can't vote. But just like you, did you get a ticket to come down? You bought your ticket, right?
Let me tell you some Patches. Let me tell you something about me. I'm my own man. I'm an independent man.
Right.
I'm an independent person.
So don't you think
I got an independent mind.
So don't you think everybody should do like you?
And I got an independent mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the discussion, let me tell you, fundamentally, what you just said, I agree with you fundamentally. I don't, like I told you, like I said, I never thought we could have come home and vote. Because guess what? In my mindset, I was seeing that as something I don't think should have happened. They should not allow that, really. But as time went on now, what I come to realize, right? What I'm trying to say, Patches, my angle with it, what I'm coming at is, if they're gonna allow us to come home and vote, they should also allow us to come and put our name on the ballots.
Okay, my brother.
So when I wrap, hold on for a minute. So you see Patches, right?
Yes.
When you wrap up all of this shit together, you know what these politicians gonna have to do? They're gonna have to revisit all of this stuff. They should. The reform got to come. So all those people who saying they don't want people to come home, I'm trying this big monkey wrench in there, and I'm saying, yeah, if they allow us to come home and vote, guess what? I should have the right to run and for parliamentary office as well.
Okay.
So
okay.
you can't give me the right to vote and not give me the right to run for election for parliamentary position. And then so therefore, if they go and debate this issue in parliament, and say for instance, I'm just going to play devil's advocate. If they just yap the right for us to come home and vote, then guess what? You think I really would care, bro? I won't even care.
Okay. Got you, my brother.
I won't even care.
I've got you.
But don't give me the right to vote, but not the right to run for politics.
Okay, my
brother. It's either you're going to give me both or you're going to take both away.
Okay.
And that's what I want to address. Whether it goes in my favor or not, I really don't care. But I'm advocating for them to look at this stuff again.
Okay.
Debate this in the House and make the necessary changes to suit the people.
Yes. Okay. We heard you loud and clear, my brother. Thanks for your intervention.
I'm gonna leave it there. Maybe if I don't get back in tonight, you'll hear from me on Monday.
Good luck. Good luck, my brother. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Always, thanks.
Always welcome your contributions. Good night, Patches. Reads this email. In the book of Isaiah, chapter 40, the prophet Isaiah prophesied of the coming of John the Baptist as the lone voice crying in the wilderness to prepare the way for the Lord Jesus Christ. The prophet prophesied that John the Baptist's task was simply to make straight in the desert a highway for our God. The prophet Isaiah prophesied was fulfilled in the book of Matthew, chapter 3. Patches, I know that there are times you and Dr. Timothy Harris are beset on all sides by many Pharisees and Sadducees, as John the Baptist did, who disguised themselves as the snake, Mark, Dada Dwyer, DJ Marisha, and Big Lie. So even though they have been discarded and thrown overboard the ship of state without a life jacket by July, as July continued to regale on the deck of our luxury liner, sipping champagne and eating caviar, these journeymen are still clinging on to July's coattail as the proverbial straw which a drowning man will cling on to as July is watching them drown. They are still proclaiming, Dr. Drew, we love you. We believe in you. Even though you slay us, we will serve you to the bitter end. Patches, thank you for remaining the lone voice of reason and care still crying in St. Kitts, Nevis's wilderness of despair. Thank you for never getting weary in well-doing by your Straight Talk program to remind us that our once luxury liner is low on fuel, is driving rudderless without a competent captain and crew, without a compass or sail, while the captain and crew remains heavily intoxicated as the ship tossed to and fro and destined to the IMI jagged rocks of sure destruction. I wonder if that's the IMF it meant. Patches, I am certain that oftentimes your feet get weary and discouragement sets in. But please, Patches, don't stop doing what you're doing, but continue to look at the bigger picture, which is the welfare of our great nation, as you seek to make every valley be exalted. You seek to bring low every mountain and hill that July and the government puts in our path to block our view of their misdeeds, mismanagement, greed, and incompetence. And as you also seek to make straight every crooked road built by July as a detour to lead us astray, I implore you finally to continue to make smooth every rough plain to enable all citizens and residents of St. Kitts Nevis to feel free and safe to live and work and play in. Thank you, Patches. Reads this email. Is there a call on the line, caller? Are you there?
Patches, I hear you.
I've kept you holding. I'm sorry, sir.
Patches?
Yes, sir. Yes, that sounds like the major again.
Yeah, I just want to hear what just going to let them know. But a thought just comes to my mind. A thought just comes to my mind here, and I want to share it before we list. What it is, the thought is that, listen to it, the entrepreneur builds an enterprise, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And the technician builds a job. You heard that?
Build a job.
A job. Let me say it like how you hear it probably. The entrepreneur builds an enterprise.
Mm-hmm.
And the technician build a job. So you have to analyze and pass that, see? Analyze and pass that.
Okay, Mr. Major, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. So fallout, Major, fallout. Thanks a lot.
Okay.
Major never fails to provoke our thoughts. Gray, Jamie said, what will you do to change the perception of persons who think that Pam is for the rich? I think you dropped the ball by not telling her that it was the case. What is the AG doing in the Labour Party? Remember, he came out from the rich sugar planters' belly, and his law firm vehemently fought the Labour Party government under Bradshaw in order for the planters to remain in control of all the estate sugar lands in St. Kitts. If it was not for the legal brilliance of Limor, Fitzroy Bryant, Dr. Henry Stacumba Brown, and Sir Proben Innes, all the lands today would be in the hands of the AG and his planters' fraternity. My question is how the AG get into the Labour government with his track record of hatred for Labour and black poor petitions. Are we real? Reads this email. Good night, Mr. Liburd. What a coincidence, the Snake constituency Nevis 9 has 6,669 voters. The devil number is 666. So that tell you the man is a real snake, is this email. Dear Patches, it is becoming more and more obvious that Dr. Jew and Premier Mark Brantley believe St. Kitts and Nevis is their personal property, to be divided and controlled however they please, without any transparency or accountability to the people who actually own this federation, the taxpayers. The World Bank report on the Fair Share Agreement is a crucial document, yet it remains hidden from the public. Why? Because Jew and Mark don't want accountability. Every political party, especially the Nevis Reformation Party, should have a copy and be part of the discussions. Instead, these two power-hungry clowns have turned the so-called fair share into a private backroom deal, negotiated in the shadows, while the people of Nevis and St. Kitts remain in the dark. And what's worse, the report was meant to determine how CBI revenue should be fairly shared between St. Kitts and Nevis. Yet Mark still isn't satisfied. What exactly does he want? A blank check? Complete control? If the World Bank's expert recommendation isn't enough for him, then what is? Meanwhile, Jew continues to play along like a puppet, afraid to take a firm stance. And let's talk about their bizarre relationship. Sometimes it looks like Mark is leading Jew, whispering demands in his ear, making him bow to Nivision's interests. Other times, Jew seems to have Mark on a leash, forcing him to play along with his reckless spending and failed leadership. Who is really in charge? Who is fooling who? The people deserve full transparency, not a circus act. Reads this email. Patches, when the overseas voters became eligible to vote in our election, it was done by PAM. Liburd, God bless his soul, was at pains in his contribution in the National Assembly on the bill pointed out in the National Assembly on the bill. He pointed out the danger and the unfairness of the law. They scoffed at Liburd, and today it is like a millstone around the necks of Pam. Pam is to blame. Let Kennedy Simmons take the blame. Never do things in government that you would not like when you are in opposition. Reads this email. Good night, Mr. Liburd. Has the budget boost wallet come to an end? I think it's a 6-month program, so it would end in June, I suspect. What's going on here? Okay, I'm not getting this email open. But those are my emails tonight, my Straight Dog family. And guess what? You know, my time has just run. Patches, I want to tell that caller, when you are telling the truth, you can be bold like a lion. You don't have to worry about anyone coming after you because you always bring the facts. You are not like July, always telling lies. If it wasn't for you, Patches, we wouldn't have known a lot of things that's going on in this country. You keep us updated on what's going on. Thank you. Read this email, and I'm humbled, and thank you as well for the commendation. And my Straight Dog family, it's 9 past the 10 o'clock hour. And hear what? Straight Talk is heard every Monday and Thursday from 8 in the night to 8 p.m., I should say, to 10 p.m. We looked at our thesis, which is normally our focus. For each program, we do have a thesis, a short dissertation. And our thesis tonight, I titled, Take the money, beg your pardon, and vote them out. And I told you the story, and it's a true story, of a lady I met in the supermarket. And not just a lady, matter of fact, a friend of several decades. And for those of us who may have joined me late, it seemed as though, as I said, she was really longing to meet someone to whom she could she could have vented her feelings. And as I said, our friendship spans decades, and I consider it, and I'm sure she does, consider it a genuine one, based on mutual respect. And what I can tell you transcends politics. She was a staunch Labour supporter, so much so that when I contested the elections in 2015, she confessed to me saying, "Patches, I would have loved to give you a chance, and I know you would do well." But lo and behold, she went on, "Patches, you're running for unity, yes, but on a PAM ticket." And she said to me, "I can't vote for PAM." Disappointed I was, yes, but I respected her forthrightness and her honesty. But note I said earlier she was a staunch Labour supporter, but not anymore, as she is so mad with the poor performance of this bunch of little boys, she called them. She's mad with the performance of these little boys in government, she said. She spoke of the many years she lives in Taylor's, a remark that with all the rainfall in Cocky Conris for months, now could only give them water 4 hours a day. 4 hours. Never. And this is going on for months, my Straight Dog family. She pointed me to this schedule. She reminded me that he's paying millions for 6 generators. Yet every minute electricity going off in Taylor's, she said. Don't talk about Jeffrey. The slow student, she continued. He's a waste of time. All he does is dress up like a pretty doll every day, she told me. But my friend stunned me though, when she said, "I am telling everybody quietly, when they come by you next time, just take the money and vote them out." And I want you to take that advice seriously, because July strongly believes that he can buy his way back into power. And remember, he said that elections can be bought. July said that St. Kitts Nevis elections can be bought.
The election in St. Kitts and Nevis, whether you believe it or not, can be bought. It is not too expensive for a rich person to buy an election in St. Kitts and Nevis. This election has proven that.
So he bought the last elections. And what does it mean, though, my Straight Dog family? When elections are no guarantee of democracy. But it is also true that democracy does not exist without elections. So when July next runs for office, we know that the election may not be free. It may appear to be free, but I dare say it will not be fair. And what does it mean to have free and fair elections, one may ask? Is it possible to have a free but unfair election? How unfair does an election have to be to no longer be democratic? And my Straight Dog family, I quoted from the Freedom House, from an article under the caption "Democracy in Crisis," which stated that the values it embodies, particularly the right to choose leaders in free and fair elections, freedom of the press, and the rule of law, are under assault, and in retreat globally. Here in St. Kitts Nevis, democracy is battered and weakened. When I compare the 7 years of Team Unity to now just under 3 years of Labour, it seems as though we are sliding into authoritarian rule. And my Straight Dog family, The stage is set. The management of the Electoral Office. Look at what's happening. My Street Dog family, when we look at the voters registration, and I provided data to sensitize you that the configuration of the register of voters in 2022 was 50,933 voters, whereas the enumerated population of St. Kitts Nevis in the same year, 2022, as per the census that was taken, was 51,320 persons. That tells a story. But my Street Dog family, as I wrap tonight's programming, I advocate that there should be transparency in the process, allowing voters to trust that their voices matter and their votes matter, I should add. This includes ensuring that there are no external influences, such as financial power, distorting the outcome. The concern about the overseas vote will remain bittersweet sadness until it is properly addressed. When you can hear Douglas said he had 99 for a constituency and 56 for another one, as if he's playing a chess game, you say money is undermining fairness. And my Street Talk family, the ability to mobilize large numbers of voters through financial means skews the results in favor of the wealthier political interests, effectively buying the election. When will we change this corrupt electoral system? Will we ever change it? The erosion of the fairness of elections in St. Kitts and Nevis contributes to a broader political and social crisis, I submit. But Straight Talk warns everyone, as of tonight, stay alert and watch out for everything that could cause problems, and be careful. The July administration controls the electoral process, electoral system, and we have already heard about the plans to gerrymander the boundaries, amongst other things. My Straight Talk family, let us look at performance. With nothing to show, July will resort to buying the elections. And this practice has gone on, as I said, in different parts of the world for centuries. And some candidates believe money will earn them loyalty at the ballot box. But selling your vote makes for bad governance and encourages corruption, I submit. And my Straight Dog family, as I wrap tonight, my advice would be, instead of taking cash from these politicians, ask or demand certain commitments from them. The integrity of elections is essential to the functioning of democracy. And my Straight Dog family, as the country moves towards its next election, it's going to come fast. Hear what I tell you tonight. It's going to come fast. So it is critical that citizens, political leaders, and policymakers work together to reform the system, ensuring that elections are both free and fair. And for those politicians who would insist on bribery, remember the ballot box is secret. Take their money and vote them out. And that's my story tonight, my Straight Dog family, and I am not going to change it. I want to thank Almighty God, nonetheless, for guiding our conversation tonight. As always, I want to thank you, the many listeners, those of you who called, and those of you who sent emails. Remember, all of you are the ones who make Straight Talk. And for that reason, I say a big, big thank you. I am Ian Patches Liburd, and God's spear Godspeed. We will connect on Monday for another edition of Straight Talk. Only that time, have yourselves a wonderful weekend. Be good to yourselves and to all whom you meet. And remember that whatever your mind conceive, that you will achieve. But first of all, you must believe. So when you wake in the morning, thank God for the morning light. Thank Him for taking you through the night. And my Straight Talk family, keep moving on. Bye-bye. Until we connect on Monday.
In the morning, I thank God for the morning light. Give Him thanks and praises for taking me safely through the night. For the rest of food